There were other shows on network television that would have clearly been out of place at any other time. Some of us still remember the Uncle Floyd show, which was undoubtedly the strangest half hour of the night. Uncle Floyd, as some of us discovered later, worked the same alternative comedy venues as Paul Reubens, aka Pee Wee Herman. His show could loosely be described as a talk show, although his guests were not generally known for their conversational skills, and his personal sidekick spent the entire show in a catatonic stupor. What made the Uncle Floyd show so entertaining was the fact that it just showed up at 2 or 3 in the morning and was never actually listed in the local TV guide. This turned an otherwise avant-garde comedy show into a "how did this show get a time slot?" subversive act of programming. Occasionally, the original Pee Wee Herman show, which should never be mistaken for the sanitized CBS version, would also show up on extremely late-night television. Pee Wee's show often showcased the alternative, edgy, dark comedians and performers our parents should have warned us about. Yes, there really was a band called the Plasmatics. Yes, there really was a 2:30 in the morning. No, the Plasmatics and 2:30 in the morning shouldn't be in the same sentence when you're 12 years old and hopped up on Doritos and cheap soda. Whenever extremely late-night network television would fail us, there was always the audio-visual toss-up known as UHF. If the local UHF channels like WUAB 43 or Channel 61 hadn't already called it a night, they would usually show grade Z horror movies like Attack of the Wasp Woman or The Flesh Eaters. I'm saying it now, this was a miscalculation of epic proportions. The Flesh Eaters plot revolved around a group of very unpleasant people who survived a plane crash and were now trapped on a deserted island. Unbeknownst to them, but plenty beknownst to the 12-year-old audience, they were also surrounded by alien flesh-eating bacteria. One unprotected step into the water, and it would be a bubbly, fluorescent kind of death for someone. The only member of the cast I was hoping would go flesh-eater free was the plane's pilot, who reminded me of the guy who should have gotten the role of the professor on Gilligan's Island. As it turned out, he did indeed escape the island, after figuring out a way to electrocute the little alien buggers in bulk. Creepy, creepy movie. The other UHF channels held their own after-hours charm, including the public television station that decided to broadcast the next day's object lessons during the wee smalls. At 3 in the morning, even first-grade math was a challenge. Another UHF channel, clearly from a distant location, showed fuzzy reruns of shows like Mr. Ed and the Munsters, 2 shows that are far too high concept at 3 in the morning. The freakiest opening credit of a television show ever has got to be the creepy marionette Lucille Ball dancing her way through Here's Lucy. Wrong, wrong, wrong. One dirty little secret about UHF channels and the Stowbilly boys who watch them is about to be revealed. One UHF channel decided to dip its toe in the paid television market, which would include adult movies with adult content. Their plan was to scramble their signal at a certain time at night, then offer descrambling devices to paid subscribers. Our plan, however, was to hope the engineer in charge of scrambling the signal would either shirk his duties or call in sick. The scrambled signal would be vaguely watchable if a wavy, soundless negative of a picture could be defined as watchable. We didn't care, as long as we could see flashes of wavy, negative breasts on an actress with black teeth. The station insisted on showing cheaply produced European sex comedies from the 1970s, most of which were based on familiar fairy tales. The experiment didn't last more than a few years, but during that time many of us received an incomplete education that would require years of careful descrambling.